Well, the trends are, I think, the software. There's a couple of things. I mean, the industry is getting, let's go hardware first. Hardware's getting smaller, and they're getting more high res and smaller footprint, which is really kind of nice. So now I have a nice little 4-inch touchscreen or 7-inch touchscreen, which works very well. Screens obviously are getting much larger, which is even better, and even getting bigger touchscreens. So that's good for that. You know, the middle niche is kind of waning a little bit. I'll be curious to see how much middle range sizes they keep going, because everyone wants bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, today's industry seems to want, 55 is pretty average. It seems like 65 and above now. You know, even at our conference center, our media boards in the conference rooms are 70 to 80 inches touchscreens. You know, so we're doing we already do that now because that's what people like and they really enjoy that. So, and then on the software, a lot of the vendors are just kind of pushing the next level of, well, we do digital signage, but now we also can control your lighting system. We can control almost your HVAC. As long as you give me some kind of input to it, I can control that for you. So that seems like a really neat touch in the future, the way it's going. Now you have a single pane of glass that controls everything, so I can do my volume sound, change digital signage on the fly if I need to, and control it all, which is I think where we need to go. Most people I run to that are still what I call green. They are, network they have down, monitors you can kind of figure out, software you have to kind of find the ones you like, works best for you. But the big thing always still is content. At the end of the day, that one screen looked great day one. What does it look like day 30? 6 months, a year. How are you updating? And that seems to be, I think, what most people are lacking. The template can still be the same, but somehow you need to extract the new event information, the new weather link, the new product menus. You need to put them out there, and that's kind of what's going on there. I think that we probably still have a little shortcoming on is who really spend. Did you put a budget line for content? And that's where most people don't. I like to do a bunch of different things. I'm kind of always been in the R&D side. In the last probably 20 years, I've been sort of on the consumer commercial side. So it's a little different. So I always see opportunities, and the big one that we're trying to redevelop in our area is the area called the farms. It's kind of an agriculture section of the farm where it's really mostly a display model where you can actually pick the food, use it, and it will become your meal. So, if you have your head of lettuce out on the floor, you want to be able to go grab it and pick it, but what do you know about the lettuce, right? So in the past, you always engrave these little cards, put a stake in the ground, there it is. But I'm saying with all these little black and white, no power or almost powerless screens, like why not just put that there? They're all controlled wirelessly, so if I need to change things, so this week it could be carrots and they replant them next week to lettuce, I just update the screen, no plaques to change. If a sponsor or provider comes in, we can put their logo on the screen saying sponsored by, dedicated to, whatever the situation is. And I see that's kind of thinking kind of way out of the box for probably most people, especially in a farm environment, but it seems like a neat thing to try and do, The world, it's always a me world or a now world. So how do I interact with the device, either being walk-up with Prox or iBeam or some other technology that digital sign can read me and say, oh, this is you, and these are your preference, and oh, since you're in this area, we have this nice leather jacket, let's say, or a special hat that you've been looking at for the last month, and try to push that on you. So content most people try to do is like, okay, what's happening in the company, what's happening in the lunchroom, what did HR send me? That's great, at least it keeps it current, but it doesn't really make it about me. I think the big push has to be is how do I handle it and make it for me, the person, that individual that's walking by the sign at that exact instant, and make it interactive for them and mean a lot. And there's some challenges with that. Is obviously in a regular store, you walk by a display rack, it's okay, there's probably only a couple people there, you can handle it, but you go to the entrance of DSE yesterday and you had 1,000 people walking through with it every second, it's like the machine can never cope for that. Right there, it's just flash of pants saying, hey, you're here, thank you for coming, throw your names up on the wall or something, I don't know how you'd handle that, but that's the kind of stuff I think we need to get as more personalized one-on-one. That way you can buy that Oakley pair of glasses at 3 in the morning when you walk by the store going, that's what I really wanted. You touch the kiosk or go on your phone, smart device, and link up to it and do that purchase right then and there. In the past, facial recognition necessarily wasn't really, deciding who you were. It's mostly like people counting and see if you fit a profile of a certain person. But now, the facial recognition, like some of the ones on the floor here, you can, glasses, male, female, color tone, approximate age. It was pretty damn good on the age part. I was scary. and now I can really make sense of what demographic comes on the grounds, at an entrance gate, because you do have to funnel them to a certain degree, but the question is, can they handle, still again 1,000 people coming in at the same time? But if you can at least capture that facial recognition, you say who comes on grounds, what events they go to, and then link that up to their personality on their iPhone or some other thing where they've registered online with us to say, you're interested in car shows, I saw you come in, I saw your facial recognition, let me send you or text you stuff. So and try to push if you're like a beer drinker, so you're by a beer, near a beer stand, if you go now, I'll give you 50 cents off on a beer or whatever you want to do, kind of thing. How do you promote it to them to say, helping us because you're going to purchase, but it's going to help you because that's what you want to do and that's what you like. Surprisingly, a lot of the people I've talked to at the show, and most of them are the tech guys, right, and the developers, but they need more marketing people here, because the one thing I noticed, marketing does not really get it. They don't understand what it's about, how to use it. We just implemented a nice LED board at Office, and it isn't too interactive yet. It's still pretty much like the old slider board. I said, wow, we should really step up the game. We spent all this money, let's make it look a little better. But I think marketing, in any organization, marketing really needs to buy in first, say, how do we create the events? How do we make it better? And then attach the hardware and the device or the recognition, whatever is special about the system you want to put in, work with what they want to do. Because it's really about marketing, promoting, branding your event, your product, and your area to what it needs to be. DSE, I've been at least 4 or 5 years here, every year coming. It's probably been a very beneficial show. I really used the information I collect here to present to the board, my management team, saying, hey, this is what I need to know, these are the directions we should go into, which actually help facilitate a lot of the direction we're heading in terms of internal grounds, signage, getting away from flyers and printing, and just let's put up an LED board, And we almost live with it in the conference center, so we have it all the meeting rooms. They have digital displays on each of the rooms. If they're not being used, it shows promotions. We put a whole promotion loop in there for the event center, the grounds that's going on. We wrote interface to the database to help extract data. It was really beneficial, right? Why put everything in when you can get out of a database somewhere, somehow, somebody has that information you're really looking for. And that's what we're doing. And we use that to really get the word out. And I think people really need to say, look at the whole picture, start with people who are really going to use it, and who do you want to target with, and then build backwards. Because here they have all the whiz-bang wow stuff, but you can buy a screen, you can buy software, but until you figure out how you're going to use it, which seems to be the number one problem, let's go back and let's develop how you want to use it in the company.